There are those who think that there is a big future in small practice. Oddly enough, in today's environment, that's actually good news. We have David May with us, MD, PhD, and a man who's a columnist for us who works with us at CardioSource World News. Thank you very much for that. And you're the president of Cardiovascular Specialists, Louisville, Texas, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And let's talk a little bit. You're talking here at this meeting in Las Vegas, how to survive as a small practice in 2014. So the fact that there is some optimism here is like, this is news.
Yes, the idea that private practice is dead is a bit premature, I think. The majority of us remain in private practice. The majority of us are in small practices. The message for those practices is to recognize that they do have to do some things like the larger groups, particularly things like data acquisition for benchmarking, quality improvement efforts, and paying attention to the appropriate use criteria, type metrics, and incorporating them into their practice. Those things are the language that the larger systems and payers understand and listen to. The small practice, of course, in addition, has a tremendously viable, rapid adaptive change capacity that no large system can match. So if you combine knowing your data, improving your data, and that adaptability, I think not only will we survive, but we'll thrive in the next several years.
So you're one of three entities that will make up the future. The private practice, the big medical center, the really huge system, and then academia. Are those kind of the three that you're thinking of?
I think so. I think we're going to see that the homogenization effort of the large practice, think 150 cardiologists, the academic practice with a completely different mission, research, pushing back the frontiers of medical knowledge, and the small private practice that is engaged in the delivery of care to the regular frontline patient population are not really the same. They're different in fundamental ways, and solutions that address one will not help the other. Issues of payer mix, issues of population differences, capabilities will simply not allow that.
But what's interesting is Dr. Hill was saying this morning, and he also said in an interview with us, that there are some lessons from private practice that have to be incorporated into academia.
I think that the academic medical practice, the traditional one, was one in which the frontiers of our knowledge were being pushed backwards. We think of the academic center as the specialist in heart failure or in rare diseases. But in today's environment, I believe Dr. Hill has to employ a cadre of utility players who are able to do effectively general cardiology care, because he and his department are forced to participate in the same environment. That's hard for them to do. It's difficult for the academic bureaucracy to rapidly shift to the changes that take place in a payer environment. So that I think that there is a blurring of those lines, and I think that he has had to make adjustments like that. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, because I do think it's imperative that we maintain the tertiary quaternary care level. I think it's imperative that we maintain the academic research environment. We cannot lose that. To lose that is to salvage nothing and to sacrifice the future.
But whether it's good or bad, it's reality.
For the moment, that is correct.
Do you see it going to change?
I hope so. I hope so. I think that the discussions that we have that center around the delivery of care, that talk about the provision of standardized care, makes sense. But the elephant in the room is the recognition that not everyone needs to do everything.
Right.
Now, all of us need to manage hypertension. I get it. But not all of us need to do percutaneous aortic valve replacement. Not all of us need to do transplant or advanced heart failure. And until we come to grips with that reality, we are going to continue to have this competitive environment in which the 8-person group and the 150-person group and the academic medical center all envision themselves competing for the same entity. I think that that's a vision that comes from the egotistical, self-serving side of I'm a cardiologist, and not the side that is addressing the fact that we're caring for a population of people.
Right.
Because if we think about the population, the model changes. And we'll get there eventually, I hope.
Now, the last thing I wanted to underscore is the fact that you're not just talking your opinion here, but in terms of small practice and what they can do. You actually had a paper that was an analysis from NCDR. Voluntary registry participation rapidly improves physician quality performance. So here's some data we can hang our hat on. Can you talk about the study?
What we did is investigate whether quality improvement could be done in a very rapid fashion. You can envision that scientific information is rolled out, and it takes time, years sometimes, to reach widespread use. We don't know much about quality data improvement in that environment. There are a number of individuals around the country and the world who have popularized the concept of a rapid learning system. So we engaged the Pinnacle Registry, which we participate in, and did an interesting project where we simply took our data, which comes back from Pinnacle, and at our monthly doctors meeting, I literally just gave our physicians the stuff, the actual reports. We didn't talk about them. I did not engage in berating them or plaudits. I simply laid it on the table. And a year later, we analyzed our data, and we discovered that essentially every quality metric improved dramatically, statistically so, which validates that, first off, physicians really are paying attention to what you present to them. Secondly, they like to see their data, and they fix their data in a hurry. But thirdly, I think it points out that the things that are thought mundane, did you measure the blood pressure? Did you do a lipid profile in the appropriate patient? Are things we're deficient in by certainly national quality metric standards. And by simply measuring it, we improve. Not expensive to do, not terribly sexy to do, doesn't require randomized trial to do, but it does in fact make a difference. And I believe that the widespread adoption of those types of technologies, registry systems that are easy to use, will make dramatic improvement in our metrics for quality as we normally think of them.
Congratulations. I think that's a great study. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
And you can read more from Dr. May in CardioSource World News. And please make sure you look around for more of our coverage from the Cardiovascular Summit here in Las Vegas. I'm Executive Editor Rick McGuire.